It's the Center Fantasy Football League podcast.
Welcome to football.
Oh, I'm a football player.
Coach, I'd like to tackle him right now. Not yet.
Reviewing all of the league's scores and highlights.
These boys may have lost, but they in no way disgraced themselves. They disgraced me.
I think I made him shit himself.
And previewing the upcoming matchups and scenarios.
Red 7.
I don't know what Red 7 means.
Hot route.
I don't. What is hot route?
Will you just go stand on the other side, please?
Fuck you. Fuck you, little walk-on fuck.
Do you think it's possible that your mom won't love you anymore if she sees how bad you're losing in the game? That's why your guys are out partying, mine are running routes.
And now here's your host,
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
David Harbadkin.
Hello and welcome to the Center Fantasy Football Podcast for episode 8. Is that what we're in?
Well, technically, 9. Isn't it 9? Maybe it's 8.
Well, either way, welcome all. Joining me on the program is the coach of the Hackettstown Hagglers, Mr. Gazalutsky.
You mean the 3 and 5 soon to be eliminated Hagglers?
I mean, not yet eliminated. Whatever.
But surprisingly, not as bad as Gronky Con, 2 and 6.
Yeah, he's doing impressively badly this year. Whatever.
Coincidence? Since Manny moved it to his state?
Isn't he moving right now? Is that why he's not on the podcast with us?
Of course. Of course.
All right, well, let's go over last week's games. We didn't actually have a podcast last week. I don't remember why. I know why we're late this week is because I just didn't feel very good. But there was a reason for last week not having it. I must have not just felt like doing one.
That's good enough.
Yeah, good enough. All right, but here is last week's games. Which matchup shall we go over first?
Let's get the Hagglers and Nick and Jamie out of the way.
Were we even on the phone for this game?
No, I had to work.
Yeah. I don't remember anything from this past weekend.
Let's just scroll all the way down to the bottom.
Okay.
Look at DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh, you mean on the bench bottom?
Yep.
Wow.
The end.
Oh, no. We were on the phone. I do remember this phone conversation.
That's the analysis for this week for this game. Next.
I do remember this phone conversation. You were very mad because you didn't play him because you said Levi's was going to be the court. So you get like the defense. Well, you got the Atlanta defense specifically to play against him, and then he ended up having a really good game. Continually throwing to your guy.
Next,
I do remember this. Oh, and then Waller. I remember this whole conversation. Waller, like he didn't want to play. And then the Jets came back. I remember that.
Remember the comments? Remember we read the comments? Darren Waller's hamstrings are made of licorice.
I do remember all of this now.
From the fans. Who also, the other players like me, who unfortunately started this fool.
Yeah, you went with the jumbo package, but not too jumbo this week. 23 from Kittle, which, great, but Waller only 1.4 after deciding
he played one half of a quarter.
Yeah, so Goff gets 14, Tua gets 27.7. Who were you playing in this game? Nick and Jamie. All right. So they ended up winning 123.36.
And they even spotted me a player with Miles Sanders getting 0.
Ah, well, they always spot their opponents a player, so that's to be expected. Tank Dell. Oh, that's when we discovered
the midget.
Right. I remember watching the game and we're like, Tank Dell. Didn't you pick up another tank this week? The other tank?
Tank Bigsby.
Tank Bigsby. Is he Biggersby than Dell? Because Dell looked tiny on that field.
He looked like a munchkin.
Yeah, anyway, he got 6.1 to Jamar Chase's 25.2, 15.3 to, I guess is that Marquise Brown? Which Brown is that? Yes, it is. Marquise Brown, 15.3, 11.7 to Metcalf. Kamara got 27. I mean, he's been fantastic, and Aaron Jones only gets 8.6. Henry gets 16.2. He's really starting to come back. And Kittle with 23.9. How did you lose this game?
Because of DeAndre Hopkins on the bench.
Oh, and then the Dallas defense got 15 points here. Yeah, and he spotted you with 0. Wow. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, this really does come down to that mistake. I mean, if you don't go with the jumbo package,
It's not even a mistake because you have a quarterback in Levi's jeans who's never thrown a pass. Okay,
Right.
a horrid Titans offense. You pull your guy out. Everybody pulls DeAndre Hopkins out of that one. Everybody does, and he gets 34. It's unexplained. And then, of course, we're gonna fast forward to this week's game. So you keep him in, and he does nothing. But whatever. And, it's the fantasy gods punishing you for being gainfully employed.
No, but you didn't work that one.
I think I did. It was the 29th, right? That was
We were
October,
on the phone because I remember this whole conversation.
October 29th, or
Yeah, the 29th. Nick and Jamie tricks Halloween Haggler for a Halloween win.
that was the 29th. Yeah, so I was at work. I worked on
Nick and Jamie
No, I
tricks
didn't.
for
No,
a
you're right,
Halloween
you're right.
treat. What are you doing, Yahoo? Come up with the proper title. It's like, make like a tree and leave, or make like a tree and get out of here. Like, come on, what are you doing? All right. Anyway, they come away with the win. And the Hagglers move to 3-5. So now they dragged you down to 3-5 in this game. I mean, there's a lot of 3-5 teams.
Not many, actually.
I don't know. We'll look at it later. Anyway, let's move on to the next game since you don't want to do this one. Where shall we go?
Well, let's look at. Let's look at as you beat the crap out of my rival, at least.
Well, that's fine. We're actually, and the fan is back now that he's winning. So I think he might be back to listening. Anyway, so yeah, 1603ers win 130.18 to 104.22. This game was played strategically. I ended up picking up the Bagman purposefully to try to get points away from DJ Moore. So my hope is that my running backs could cushion the blow because he had a lot of, because he had Olave and we had Michael Thomas, and we were actually going to go with Michael Thomas to begin with, but then he, got into a food fight. He was sick, but he ended up getting his standard 10. He gets 10 every week, I think, right? So we pulled him out at the last minute. Yeah, he gets about 10 every week. So we pulled him out. We did pick up Raheed Shaheed, who ended up with 24 points, but whatever, we didn't play him. McLaurin gets 17.3, but really Olave didn't do anything. DJ Moore didn't do anything, even though that's why we got the Bagman to counter him. But Herbert got 30 points. So that was, that almost, it would have almost made it close, but I mean, he really didn't get much production. It was Kenneth Walker didn't get anything, only 8 points. Jonathan Taylor, only 10. 6.5 from Pitts, 14.9 from Keenan Allen in that Sunday night game. I mean, it was a really big deficit going into the in the Sunday night game, excuse me. And we had already built up, so McCaffrey had 29.8, 20.8 from Hawkinson, and Mostert still got 10 and then the 17 from McLaurin. I mean, really, at that point, it was Herbert and Allen and Moore going against the Bagman and Eckler for my team. So, there was still a lot that could have been up in the air in that Sunday night game, but there was enough to counter it. And Eckler had a great game, so we didn't really have to sweat it much. It was nice to not have to worry about a Monday night game, but that's basically what happened here. Yeah. And then of course we didn't, so Godwin and Evans, they ended up getting a decent point totals at the end, but they were really struggling in the Thursday night game against Buffalo. Up until the end when they both kind of scored at the end, but I don't know. But that's really it. And he picked up Dalton Kincaid, who scored, but on his bench, and Gus Edwards got 29, 36 for Prescott. Wow, his bench outscored his lineup, 111.36 over there. So I guess that's where that one happened. All right. Moving on to the next game. The Whalers moved to 5-3, 150.36 to 130.92. He's not done many trades. The Raccoon has not been. I mean,
so Hackettstown's finest, has he lost 4 in a row?
That is a good question. Has he? Since
I think him and Tillett have literally lost 4 in a row.
Let's see. Well, I mean, it has let's see, the Yahoo on the app at least has the doesn't have the streak. Or is that do I have to go to the main thing over? Let's see. League overview, standing streak. So Hackettstown Defiant lost 3 in a row. The Trey has lost 4 in a row.
Whew.
And Gronky Kong has lost 4 in a row.
Whoa.
And Hockey has won 6 in a row. So, anyway,
Wow.
back to this game. So he actually, he did well. He got 130.92, but Whalers just had the highest score of the week with 150.36. They both exceeded their projections. So huge quarterback numbers from both of them, 35.36 from Hurts and then 33.62 from Burrow. Cincinnati's been much better of late. Mumra 16.8 and 22.90 from Smith over in Philadelphia. Then Drake London gets 10.50 and 8.6 from Kirk, who I believe used to be on the Whalers team. But Etienne with 25.9 points and 20 from Mixon. So he's really getting the running back production, which outplayed for the finest running back production, with Swift getting 14.4 and then Hunt with 13.7. As far as the tight ends, Goddard only gets 7.6, 14.7 from Ferguson. And the flex, Jacoby Myers, only 2.9, as opposed to Calvin Ridley's 14.3, and then 17.20 from Dicker, the kicker that dicked me over, versus Tucker with 7.8, and then 9 for the Chargers defense and 6 for the Buffalo defense. There's huge. Look, even up and down the bench, the Whalers bench. I mean, he's getting huge points right here. So you got 150 from the regular guys, and then he's like, Ingram 16.8, 18.8, 7. I mean, look at these scores. My God, Whalers is good. And then, Purdy, but he was a quarterback and Gabe, and then
Dr. Hockey though.
Hmm?
Can he match up to the juggernaut that's Dr. Hockey?
Oh, we'll see. Did they play yet? I don't think they've played yet.
Mm.
And then the Gabe Davis saga when he played. This is who was the player that you had that did this to you a few years ago? I think it was Mike Evans.
No, Mike Evans, yeah, definitely.
Anyway,
or Keenan Allen.
Whatever it is. But anyway, so that's an important win for Whalers. I mean, these were two teams that were, is the math right? They were right. I don't know, whatever. It drops Manny down to 7th and drops and it lifts Whalers up to 3rd place with a battle this week that can put them into 2nd place. So all right, let's move on to the next game after that, unless you have anything to say there.
Nope.
All right, Gronky Kong, who we just mentioned. This one was a shocker. I thought Gronky Kong had this game in the bag, and then somehow a Dr. Hockey pulled this one out on Monday night. It was Monday night, right?
It was Monday night, and it was basically Devontae Adams and Jimmy Garoppolo nightmare.
Is that what happened?
Is that what?
Yeah. Because didn't he have to catch up though? Who was the Monday night? It was Detroit, right? So 16.8 for Jacobs. Where did he get the points on Monday night then? Was it Jacobs? Was that it?
Yeah, it was Jacobs.
Because I'm trying to think of what the Monday, primetime scares away Gronky Kong with a spooky win. Oh wow, the puns were on. First of all, these scores are terrible. So Lawrence 16.68, only 5.6 from Mahomes in that game, 2.1 from Devontae. It must have been that because I really did not watch the Monday night game at all. That was like the height of my not feeling good. So Devontae Adams, I guess, was projected to get 16 points, and he only got 2.1. Cooper Kupp only gets 6.1 points in that game. 33 from AJ Brown, 16.8 from Josh Jacobs, who must have been the Monday night points that he needed. But only 6.7 and then 4.6 from Pierce. The tight ends matched each other with 17.7 and 17.9, 41 points for CeeDee Lamb. Wow.
Look at these absurd numbers for these receivers.
I know. 15.2 from Thielen, 13.5 from the kicker, and 11 from Jacksonville defense. So really, honestly, Gronky Kong, all he had was CeeDee Lamb with 41. He had CeeDee Lamb, the kicker, and the defense, and Njoku. And Lawrence's performance isn't even that good. So the top has really just stunk it up for him. And then Hockey has just enough. At a Hill and Brown. I mean, he countered it. I mean, 33. I mean, yeah, I mean, he's just, so not one of his higher scores, but 128.3 out of 119 is going to get it done. Yeah. I mean, bench blunders. I don't know. McBride. I don't even know who that is. Okay. He picked up Love. Oh, this is the battle of the former Love. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing much going on there. I mean, he so it looks like Rocky Kong doesn't have. I mean, Pacheco has been
that second baby that Gronky Kong had has really ruined his fantasy.
I guess so. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But I did think that this was looking like it was going to be the upset, but apparently not. Dr. Hockey still continues to roll, as we just saw. 6 wins in a row, and to move to 7-1. So,
well, Friedman's moving in tomorrow, so hopefully his fortunes will change.
Yeah, as they start exchanging players. When's the trade deadline? Isn't it like next week? They better get their trading in right away. All right, let's move to Zamunda, who's also been on a hot streak, by the way. What have they? Let's see. I'm curious about this. We can go back to this, but Zamunda has won 3 in a row, catapulting
him all the way to. He was in the basement.
I know. He was in the basement game with our fan, but look at this. 132.36 to 104.20, defeating Kimmel in this game. So Josh Allen gets 33.06 points in that Thursday night game, 12.9 from Stroud. He had a very bad game. 18 for Pittman, but Waddle gets 25.1. Deontay Johnson with 16.5, 15.8 for Barkley. Downs gets 14.2, and Bijan Robinson gets 12.2. Only 8.3 from Cook, 6.5 from Pollard. Schultz gets 2.5, 19.7 from LaPortia. Pickens with 9.2 and 11. I mean, 11.9 from Higgins, and then 13 from Koo, and then 10 from the defense. So really, I mean, a lot of the difference in this game, because so it was Josh Allen out playing, slight point difference there, and then the defense and the kicker were just enough to put him on top there, because that's really where the difference seems to be in this game. But yeah, Kimmel is on a hot streak too. I mean, he was in second place for a long time, and he's been on a somewhat of a slide lately, moving down to 6th at this point. But yeah. This one, of course, Yahoo's quite lazy on. The Zamunda Lions, they still use the Dominates and Tillit Trade Team in a spooky showdown. You can't even fit in anything. Like what? Like that's really like it's the spooky showdown. Like what lazy writing you have, Yahoo. All right, whatever. Moving on. Is that's what we should call? Let's just be lazy and call this one the spooky episode. I think. All right, and moving on to the fans game, Dave's Secret Crush defeat. Well, so what does it say? Dave's Secret Crush dominates Clever Name Pending in a Halloween showdown. The spooky showdown. That's what we're gonna call this one. All right, 130.48 to 116.10. Lamar versus David Carr. So Lamar only gets 13.98, 22.3 from Carr. Addison playing well, 21.40 to Diggs 16. Garrett Wilson 17.6 to Ayuk's 15.9. Najee Harris outplays Foreman 10.5 to 4.6. Gibbs gets 29.9 to Breece Hall's 21.3. Andrews got 14 to the 1.5 from Johnson. I think that might be where this game was pretty much won. It was at one at the tight end. It was one at the tight end, it looks like. Right? Because otherwise everything pretty much even, matches up pretty evenly. I mean, there's, a couple points here and there, but I think Mark Andrews actually came through for him right here and gave him the win. Some bench blunder. Tyler Lockett on the bench for 22.10. I mean, who do you play there instead? I mean, he's still going with Puka. So, but I don't know. I don't know. Put the fan right back on top. You should say more about him. So he continues to like our podcast as he now comes back into the viewing territory now that he's at what is it, 3 and 5? I guess that's that's the Mendoza line of viewing for him, because maybe he's back.
Man,
anything nice to say about him?
What a great win, Eugene.
Yes. It's like you sound like what's his name from Major League, the movie where he talks to the stellar analysis, whatever the thing is, when he goes over to him. My head's still foggy. I don't care. It's the spooky episode. It's the spooky showdown. What can I tell you? All right, we're gonna take a break. On the other side of the break, we will go over this week's upcoming games, and then we'll allow Geese to get back to playing some Call of Duty. But before then,
the fastest podcast we've ever done for the first half.
I know, this is amazing. This is what happens when you're motivated.
10-minute wrap up.
Exactly. All right, we'll be right back right after this. All right, welcome back to the program. As we look ahead. Oh wait, was there any? I mean, there were some transactions that I know about, because I got notified about yours in the middle of the night, which quite bothered me. So let's see right here.
Bothers you about me picking up a looser from the garbage can?
Yeah, I mean, I was prepared to pick up the same looser.
You should have been $1 on it.
I should have, but I just didn't even want to. He wasn't worth. I already paid $30 for him before I dropped him. Whatever. I need him for this week. Was there? Why am I looking at the trades?
Have you seen the garbage can lately?
Oh my god, it's pretty bad, but I haven't even looked. Wow, Taysom Hill went for $25 to Clever Pending, outbidding the finest for 14. Wow, why would if Taysom Hill is going for $25, that really shows you the level of trash out there.
That's just top tier garbage.
I mean, that is a lot.
I don't think anybody's ever bid on Taysom Hill in the history of our league.
And we have two guys fighting for him. $25 and $14 fighting for
bologna sandwich. Look at Zamunda had a more reasonable $1 offer.
Well,
that was weeks ago. I'm sorry.
No, this is all. Oh, yeah.
Look,
wow.
back to back weeks.
Taysom Hill has been bid for. He's made a collective $32 for getting bid on.
Now, I gotta credit Zamunda. That $1 offer, that's more like it.
That's more like it for Taysom Hill. But so Taysom Hill gets bid.
Even that's a little high.
It is, but whatever. It's $7 the week before it gets dropped back into the dumpster. And
right, look at it was dropped back into the dumpster, guys.
Dropped back the next week into the dumpster and then picked up for $25. What is he going to go for, like $50 next week after he's dropped in the dumpster on Monday night again? Wow. Right. I think it should just be a weekly tradition. See how much.
Taysom Hill, guys. Have you lost your mind?
I think what's Taysom Hill worth this week? It should be our new.
Why? Why does anybody even want that piece of garbage?
I don't know. I mean, okay. New York, the Giants defense gets picked up for $1. That's fair. Just outbidding Eugene for $0. Levi's jeans gets picked up for $7.
Yeah, I know. I wanted him too. I would have dropped Sam Howell.
I just didn't. I mean,
this Gronky Kong is such a menace.
$7. I mean, whatever.
He's gone after so many people that he's a 2-6 menace.
He's yeah. I mean, yeah. I just said, look, it's not that I didn't want him or I did want him. I mean, there was actually chatter in the text about him, and I was just joking about wanting him. Thing was, it was a 1 game sample. I mean, look, I will say this: Tennessee looked horrid all season, and and he actually made some players look like real NFL players playing that week. And I didn't watch the game at all. But I mean, DeAndre Hopkins wasn't able to do anything with Tannehill, and he finally is able to do something with this guy. So there is something to be said for that, and I think it's certainly worth $7. I just wasn't feeling it for this week, so whatever. And then Fournette gets picked up for $31 over the $10 bid for Zamunda. Clearly, they're watching the same latte show. He's not even available. What's going on with him?
Got picked up by the Buffalo Bills.
Did he? Okay. All right. It remains to be seen whether or not he will be active for week 9. All right. Well,
they just photoshopped the Bills.
He's picked up to the team's practice squad. So yes, I mean, this is definitely an indication when Taysom Hill and the guy who just got picked up to be put on the practice squad are going for 25 and 31 respectively. Yeah, there's clearly some garbage in there. There's not much to be had in this dumpster can of a. I mean, is there even any action since then? Okay, so we do have. Is there just nothing? Are they not even showing us anything? They're just like, nah, never mind. There's not even anything beyond that.
There's just nothing to look at.
I know. Tank Bigsby you picked up. Josh Kelly was picked up by you. Oh my God. Joshua Smelly.
So this is what I was telling Whalers earlier today. I literally looked at the free agency. I had 2 empty spots.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent 45 minutes going over each, just over and over and over again. There was literally nobody to pick up. So I picked up the backups to the top running backs in the league just in case I could be Manny Friedman and root for injuries.
Yeah, but I mean, I got Kelly was even worse when Eckler was not in there. Like, do you remember?
Don't worry, he's going in the dumpster if anything does transpire. But
he's actually probably a better asset as a player if Eckler is healthy. In fact, I've seen him do. I mean, the game that Eckler came back, he got 13.5 points, which was much. But this entire stretch, he got 15 the first game, and that's when Eckler was in there, and he got 13.5 the day that Eckler got back. Look at these numbers in between, like 3, 2, 6. I mean, he was almost 2.1. He was almost dragging down my team. I mean, he's just hard. So anyway, oh yes, there is more. What else did we have? So yeah, so you woke me up out of my stupor while watching Frasier with the Sam Howell pickup, because that's when the notification went off. I was like, it signaled me. And I was like, oh crap, it's after midnight. I got to go pick up somebody. And I looked, and I'm like, that's who I was going to pick up. So then I had to pick up somebody because, what's his name? Who's my idiot quarterback? Geno Smith. He's playing Baltimore this week, and he's not going to do well. So I needed another quarterback, so I ended up going with Sam Howell's opponent, Mac Jones, for this week. What other? So you dropped Alvin Cook. I mean, I don't think he's done anything. I mean, what else?
There was rumors that he might be traded, but once that didn't happen, you can have him.
Sure. Logan Thomas picked up by you. I mean, that's fine. I mean, he's out of the garbage can.
I'm going for the Sam Howell.
You're going for the 3 first?
The 3 first. I'm all in on Sam Howell this week. We're either going to be 3-6 because of the Redskins, or we're going to be back. Mortimer, we're back.
Wow. I mean, you got Dotson and Logan and Sam Howell. Quite a whatever. So Roshan gets picked up for Gronky Kong.
That guy is the league whore.
He's been around the block.
He's overtaken Justice Hill.
I mean, let's see. Now that we learned this from Kimmel, oh my
God. Look at that.
Look at that. Just the line.
Look at that.
Wow.
The line is long, but it moves fast.
Exactly.
And look at most. Go back to it. Look at most of the pickups are $0. People don't even want to pay for the horse.
0, 0.
They just want a free hand job.
0.
0. Somebody paid 16. They were jockey for it. Must have been his birthday.
Wow. All right.
Use the gift card because otherwise it was 0. They use the Walmart gift card to pay for them. To pay for this.
By the way, and then he gets dropped again. By the way, so there he is again.
Of course, he's the league whore.
So added for included.
Once a player's done with his services, quote unquote, they throw him right back in the dumpster.
Well, he wasn't even included with his services. He was added for $0, then dropped the next day. He was picked up at 4:49 a.m. and then dropped. He was on the team for less than 7 hours. Or is that 7? No, less than 8 hours. He didn't even put it.
Go down. Who are the teams involved?
He didn't even put in a full day's work. 8 hours, not even 8 hours.
The Hagler, look at how many times have the Haglers been involved with this process?
So the Haglers, you got him and then dropped him, and then it was the finals. So he spent like a good period of time in Hackettstown before moving over to Detroit, and then back to Hackettstown, then back to Detroit, and now on to Gronk.
who's living with Manny, so it's technically
exactly. Meanwhile, how many points has this guy got?
He's done nothing all year. Why? What is their obsession with this for?
My God.
This guy's like crack.
Okay. What else? Anything? There's nothing going on here. Kendrick Bourne was picked up. Why? He's on IR. Like, what's going on here? He was picked up after suffering the ACL tear.
Probably gonna trade him to Nick.
The transaction. So Patriots placed Bourne on an injured reserve Tuesday. The transaction is merely a formality after Bourne was confirmed to have suffered a season-ending ACL tear. That's the best time to pick him up, right after suffering a season-ending ACL tear. I mean, this is how poor the garbage can is that people are picking up people who have season-ending ACL tears just to stock them on the bench.
Just to use up IR spots.
Just to use up because there's no
active players are worth picking up. Pick up IR people.
Yeah, exactly. It's more valuable to have somebody on IR than it is to have any of these players that are actually playing the game.
Actually can play and get 0.
And then Romeo Dobbs. All right. I mean, he's had 2 double-digit games. There you go.
I mean, Whalers must have up and down for hours on end before he finally settled on this fucking half-eaten tuna sandwich. Because there's nobody out. There's just nobody in free agency.
I mean, there's not been a guy that I've targeted. I mean, and Sam Howell is really just a replacement for this week.
I mean, I don't even know why Gronky Kong bothered to pick up Keontae. He's done next to nothing.
Literally, first game,
literally done nothing.
Yeah,
that's a good play. That's a good player in this dumpster market. I mean, look at 0s and 2s. It's hot. This guy's popping. He's popping with 2.6 points. Go get him quick before somebody else scoops him up.
Yeah, and here's your other tank. So you're having. Do you still have negative 1.1? Way to pick him up after that.
I'm going into the negatives. So I'm just playing for injuries. If ATN gets hurt, he's the only other running back.
You're going with an all tank team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my team is tanked.
Your team is tanking, exactly.
So we need to get the tanks on our team. A team that's tanking.
All right. Enough looking at the dumpster. Let's see what else. I mean, nothing's the biggest blowout of the week was Zamunda versus Tillett Trey for 28 points. That's a nothing. Like I don't know what happened to this NFL season, but everything is just kind of leveled off to a big blah. All right, let's look at the standings. So you have Dr. Hockey at the top, just blowing everybody else out in points. I mean, 1,176.
Just hand Hockey the trophy already.
1,176 points. The next closest is the 1603 is with just over 1,000, but then 900. Like nobody's even. He's almost at 1,200. He's almost 200 points away from everybody else who hasn't even reached 1,000 yet. Let alone Gronky Kong at the. I mean, I guess is he at the bottom in points?
No, the Haglers are at the bottom with 838.
Okay, and so how many points less is that? Oh my God, that's got to be like 200. Wow. Yes, but you do have more. You do have more wins than does Gronky Kong. So yeah, there's 6-2. So that you have 7-1, 6-2, 5-3, all alone, and 6-2 is playing 5-3 this week, which will be an interesting matchup. But then after that, it's just a series of 4-4s from the Lightning Rods down onto the finest, then 3-5s from Dave's Secret Crush leading that group. all the way down to the hagglers, and then Gronky Kong in sole possession of 2-6. So, I mean, Gronky Kong is almost getting to the point where, I mean, what do we say, 8? I mean, he's got to start winning.
Well, we're right behind him. We're right. We're knocking on the out of the playoffs line ourselves.
Yeah, but you still have at least until Thanksgiving where you're alive.
Gronky Kong, I think he hasn't won since September.
L4, so 4. Yeah, I mean,
maybe October at some point.
4 weeks. I mean, that's a month. So yeah, basically, he hasn't done anything in spooky October.
He took October off.
All right. Well, I hope the kid is better off for that. I don't know. Uncle Manny is on the way. Yeah, so that's it with that. Let's look at next week's games. What do we where shall we go first? I mean, so some of these games are let's start with the games that have already had some scores played in them, which seems to be almost all of them except one. Let's take a look down here at the bottom. What's going on here? The Zamunda Lions against Nick and Jamie. So the original projection was 114 to 114. However, now it's 30.9 in favor of or the current projection actually didn't change much. The live projection, it's 114 to 112.
How can the projection not change much? And Nick got there it is. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So Nick, so first of all, there's a lot of mistakes that are made here. So first of all, he locks up his flex. And he locks it up with a 1.9. But he gets a good score out of Deontay Johnson. So he plays both Pittsburgh wide receivers. One does well, one does not. So I guess it evens out to about 11 points. Yeah, so they were projected to get 12 each. You know, he averages it out to what their projection was. And then his defense gets about what the projection was there. So that's where it is. All right, looking at this, so you got Josh Allen going at Cincinnati, and then you got Tua at Kansas City in, I believe that game is in Frankfurt. Is that the Germany game? I think Tua's gonna have. I mean, it's Kansas City, so that should. I don't know. I wonder how that game's gonna go. That'll be an interesting matchup. And you got the two opposite ends of the spectrum. You have the really early European game versus the Sunday night Josh Allen game. And then you have well, never mind, whatever. But you have Chase going against Waddle, so Tua is going to be throwing to Zamunda's receiver right there. You got Marquise Brown. Aaron Jones, is he the one that didn't even play? Is he going to play this week?
He's done nothing this season.
Hamstring doesn't have a designation, so it looks like he might actually play at least, but it's not like he does well when he plays. All right. Royce Freeman, is that who this is? What has he done?
What go back to Andrew Jones. What was his rush yards on the season? Is that 100 yards rushing this season?
What are we looking at?
That's wow.
Where are we? What? Oh yeah.
How many rushing yards he's actually rushed for this season? That's most people rush for that in a game.
The season?
On a season, 123 yards rushing. That's impressive.
Where do you even
week 10?
Oh yeah.
I think Dalvin Cook might actually have more than that.
Yeah, that's not great numbers, right?
Asset.
Yeah. So I mean, Pollard didn't do that well last week, but I mean, look, I think Pollard, who's he playing this week? Philadelphia. He might not have a good week either, but Barkley against Nick's actual team going against this
week 9, and you have 120. Why bother?
Healthy against Miami. I mean, so there's a lot invested in this game between these two in the Frankfurt game. He's got the New England defense against Washington. I don't know. I want to say, look, the Nick and Jamie's running backs. Look, I mean, they're projected to be the winner, especially with what this is. I mean, the Pickens 1.9 at this point really screws Nick over. So you have on the bench. I mean, it's too late to put anybody in anyway. So whatever. Algier. How many teams has this guy been on?
He's been the league horse.
Oh no, he hasn't. He's only been on 2. All right. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, this is a game. Looking at each side, I don't care about.
Yeah, but this is a hugely important game. So you have 4-4 versus 3-5. I mean, this could really.
Okay, and I need.
I know what you need. You probably at this point. I mean, what do you actually? What would you need? Because do you want Nick and Jamie to fall further down into the abyss back with you, and or do you want or do you want Zamunda to like be like middle level so you can get both of them, so you can attack both of them at their 5-5, or what would it be? He would move to 4-5, and he would move to 4. Yeah, it would be 4-5.
4-5 for everybody would be good.
So you want 4-5. So you're rooting for Nick and Jamie in this game.
Yeah, I need Nick and Jamie to pull this one out.
Yeah, I don't know if that's. I mean, Kelsey can make up for a lot right there. What is this? Who's Douglas? I don't even know who these guys are. Demario Douglas. Everybody was talking about him.
Yeah, and he certainly put up the numbers to prove the talk.
7.9. I mean, okay. Whatever. I don't know. I think he's a latte pick very much. I mean, this is a really tough one to pick. I mean, this is a significant game. I think I'm going to pick Zamunda in this.
This looks like a Dave Harbacken playoff game. Royce Freeman, Demario Douglas, Jones and Donato. This looks like a Harbacken team late in the season.
I think I'm going to go with Zamunda.
And you have to with this. I mean, even with Pickens is 1.9.
I mean, I've at least heard of the players on Nick's team. I mean, I've heard of like 3 of them. I mean,
I need Nick and Jamie to win, so I'm going Nick and Jamie.
Sure, whatever. I mean, we'll see. Whatever. All right, moving on to the next game. Let's go up the list. Tillett Trey versus the Lightning Rod. So in a 4-4 matchup, you don't really. I mean, I guess you don't really have a rooting interest.
Tillett Trey is on his way down to the bench after a 4-0 start. So let's see if he pushes the level 5 button.
I mean, look, I hate to say this, but has he won a game since he's been on the podcast?
Unfortunately, I don't think so.
Oh my God! Did we? I don't know. All right, so the original projection was 109 to 101. The live projection is 109.35 to 107.29 as Tillett picked up some points with Folk. Oh, wow, that's Dr. Hockey's old kicker now on Tillett. I guess that's a good pickup. Outperforming a 7.43 to get 13 points. There. All right. So what do we got going on here? Herbert, who's he's playing against the Jets on Monday night. I think he could have a good game there. He had a good game last week going against Stroud versus Tampa Bay. Stroud struggled against Carolina. I think that he could do a better job against Tampa Bay. I don't know. I actually don't know. I can't get a read on that game. You got Olave versus Cincinnati. Now Olave has been pretty disappointing, and last week I finally saw the play that you were mentioning where he was like wide open and just dropped it.
I mean, he just dropped it. It was blatant,
right? And that's the kind of stuff that you get punished for. So we'll see. Pittman, I mean, I think that he's been pretty good lately, but he's going against Carolina, and I think Carolina is actually a pretty good defense. So I don't know. Let's see. Downs, who's questionable with a knee. He's been good. I don't know anything about him. But he's got both Indianapolis wide receivers going to Carolina, who's a tough team. I think that might hurt Tillett in this game. DJ Moore at New Orleans, that's going to be tough there. So both these guys, all their wide receivers are playing in one game essentially. So you got Kenneth Walker and Jonathan Taylor. So Taylor, he might do all right against Carolina. Walker at Baltimore. That's man. Bijan versus Minnesota. Maybe we'll see. And then Cook at Cincinnati. I mean, Cook hasn't really. I mean, has he done anything? He's had occasional bursts of whatever. Okay, I mean, he was much better earlier in the season, and he's been struggling of late. But all right, we'll see.
He's doing anything with Leonard Fournette on the team now.
Are they both playing the Atlanta tight ends?
I've never seen that before, but okay.
So
I've literally never seen that before.
They're playing the opposite. They're playing
tight end. Both players are playing the tight end from the same team.
From the Falcons.
From the Falcons. Yippee-ki-yay. Mr. Falcon. We're both. It's not like the Falcons are known for their tight end play.
I know. What? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, fellas, somebody has to pull that tight end from the lineup.
No, I keep it. Let's see who he throws to. I mean, didn't isn't Heineke in there now? Is their quarterback?
Yep. Yep.
Well, which one does he like being in the hot tub with more, Pitts or Jonnu?
We'll see.
And then Keenan Allen at the Jets on Monday night versus T. Higgins versus Buffalo. You got the New York Jets defense on Monday night in Cincinnati versus Buffalo. So a lot of this game is going to come down to the Monday night game. I think look, I think I got to go with lightning rods here. I just like.
I mean, Tilla Trey is pushing the basement button.
I mean, he's got LaPortia on a bye. I mean, look, he's suffering from a lot of buys in this week, and I just think his IR is full. He's got Dalton Kincaid. Why wouldn't you put him in there? Whatever. All right. I mean, look, I'm gonna pick lightning rods. I'm gonna pick his tight end, but I think that's what I'm going with.
Lightning rods all the way.
All right. Does he have any, oh well, no, it's just his IRs. I was like, what's going on there? Okay. All right. We can go to your game. 29. So the original projection was 102.69 to 104.35. The current projection is 106.58 to 109.48. Right now, the Clever Name Pending is the projected favorite, though you are leading him 29.70 to 15.60. Yeah, DeAndre with 10.5.
DeAndre had 10.5 at halftime, by the way.
Oh, well,
He got 0 in the second half. Fantastic.
I mean, it's not terrible, though.
It is terrible when you have that at halftime.
Sure.
That's pretty bad.
Okay. Well, 15.60 from Najee Harris. That's one of the better performances that guy's had. 2 touchdowns on Thursday night.
It's always against the Haggard.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry coming on. I mean, whatever. I go over your matchup. I mean, look, we got
not much of a matchup. It's the Washington Redskins versus against.
So let's see. How many Redskins or how many Commanders are you playing? You're playing Howell, Dotson, and Thomas. Wow,
it's Commanders suicide. I'm Riverboat Ron this week. Riverboat Lutsky. And the ship is either going to go down in flames, or it's going to be a genius season-saving move thanks to Howell.
I command a win.
I mean, I'm playing Riverboat Gambler. And they're playing the Patriots, by the way, so he's probably not going to do dick.
Or he'll just throw it to McLaurin. Anyway, so we have...
That would really piss me off.
Derek Carr going versus Chicago. He's got Diggs at Cincinnati. Cooper versus Arizona. Then he's got Breece Hall on the Monday night game. He's got Taysom Hill, who he paid a lot of money for in that Chicago game as well. I think that might come back. And he's playing Puka. I see some vulnerabilities there. I just don't see some vulnerabilities on your Washington team though too, by the way. Does nobody have anything? What's going on here?
So they're all on buys.
Yeah, they're all on. Oh wow. Oh my god. Yeah, there's all right. So you got 3 IR spots. You got Josh Schmelly.
Schmelly.
Oh my god, everybody! You got the tank. You could go with the tank. I mean, sure, why not? I don't know what to say in this game. I mean, has Dotson done anything? So last week he had a good game, and then other than that, he hasn't done anything. All right, and then Logan Thomas, I know occasionally he does. Taysom Hill has been lately.
Taysom Hill has been taking points away from Kamara because he's a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, I think Puka's been pretty bad lately too, though.
Wait, what's Kamara been the last couple games? Because he's actually all they do is just dump it off to him underneath.
I mean, he's been near 30 in the last 2 weeks,
Oh,
and
yeah,
going against
so
Chicago, I think he's gonna do fantastically.
That's gonna be our only player to do anything.
Yeah, but then he's got Brees Hall to counter him, who's also been, lighting it up over there. So, this is actually an interesting matchup. It means, look, it's going to come down to Howell, and it's going to come down to It's going to come down to Dotson. I'm sorry. I mean, what has Cooper done?
Who are you going to play? The Munchkin instead?
There's nobody else in the trash can?
No.
I mean, well, Cooper was limited with an ankle, so you got to hope that his ankle acts up. I mean, oh, man, this is a tough game. Oof. First of all, it's going to come down to the Monday night with Brees Hall. You're going to have to sweat it out on Monday night. I'm going to tell you that right now. I don't know. Yeah, sure. Go with this.
I think my entire team is done. Yeah, my entire team is done by the 1:00 games. Don't I usually go to sleep by 1:00 anyway when we're getting our asses kicked?
Yeah, so you can go to sleep and then wake up on Monday night to watch Brees Hall.
Yeah, this is perfect. So I set my lineup to lose right before 4:00.
And really, you only have to watch the New England Washington game for the most part. You don't even have to. You can put that on, and what else? What other games do you need? The Chicago New Orleans game. Yeah, and then the Baltimore Seattle game, and then you're good.
Mm-hmm.
3 games, then put on Red Zone.
3 games and go to sleep.
Yeah. I'm picking Clever Name Pending in this.
Unfortunately, I might have to pick him too because I can't see Sam Howell having 2 good games in a row. But again, Josh Allen's on a bye. I'm not Josh Allen. Which is
Goff.
Goff is on a bye, and he's not that good anyway because he just handed it off to Jahmyr Gibbs now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just think you're just a little bit too commander heavy.
Well, there's no tight ends in the market either. Kittle's on a bye. I'm not playing Waller, who's out anyway. Waller has fooked me so many times. He's done.
I'm not opposed to the idea of. I'm just like, how much is the Commanders are they going to sling it around? And then on top of that, you still have McLaurin just sitting out there. I mean, like, okay, bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it pays off. I'm not totally opposed to it. I understand that there's crap out there. Yeah, let's see how it goes.
Look, the team that scores more points will win this week.
That is true. All right. Where do we go now? Prime time versus the finest. So the original projection was 103.01 to 119.17. The current projection is 108 to 119 with the 14 points from Warren, the running back, locking up the finest's flex. So not only is he not on the show, but he's not really. I mean, I guess there's no options anyway for him. Whatever. Though I still say don't.
Dr. Hockey's top 4 people and Thielen are going to win him a championship this season.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's got Mahomes. So he's got Mahomes versus Miami, and then Tyreek Hill at Kansas. So they're playing in the Frankfurt game. I mean, they're gonna. He's gonna get points all over the place over there. And you got Brown versus Dallas. I mean, Jacob's going against. I mean, he doesn't even need Hubbard. I mean, who cares? The other guys get him so many points. Yeah, and then Thielen has been. Oh, and he's playing against the Indianapolis secondary. My God, Thielen's gonna have a boom game. Let's see. And you got Burrow. He's starting to play better. He's playing Davis this week, which means he's going to do terribly. You can see all the weeks that he played him. This was a week he played him. This was a week he played him. And these are all the weeks that he didn't. So yeah, you got that happening. So Swift. Look, I think okay. And Turd Ferguson. Let's see. What is he doing?
He's been a turd.
Yeah. Komet though. Whatever. And then 14 more.
Well, Kirk Cousins is out for the year, so picking up
I know.
the
I'm not happy about
Atlanta
that.
defense is not bad.
Who would they go? Who's their quarterback?
Dobbins. They traded for the Arizona quarterback Dobbins.
Oh,
Dobbins, whatever.
whatever.
Dobson, Dobbs, Lou Dobbs money line.
Did the other guy come? Did Kyler Murray, is he back yet?
I think he's in an insane asylum, but yeah, I think he's on the back.
All right, whatever.
He said he's joined the Calvin Ridley meltdown movement. But he's only the quarterback. You know, how important is that position?
Yeah.
To have a lunatic.
Who trades their quarterback like mid whatever? What's going on here? Let's see. Is he going to even know the thing debuting Sunday in backup role? He's not even going to. So
Not even a starter.
Behind Jaron Hall.
Yeah, they picked a random fan out of the stadium to be the quarterback this week.
I mean, that's gonna hurt that's gonna hurt Hawkinson. All right, well, whatever. What's your point about that? Who is that gonna affect in this game? Who has Minnesota players in this game? Where am I seeing anything?
No, just the opposite. I'm saying it's good to pick up the Atlanta defense against a random player.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's probably good, yeah. Sure, yeah. That's why Manny, I'm sure, did it. Okay. And then Philadelphia versus Dallas. I don't think that's necessarily a good. I mean, look, hockey's top three and then Thielen are just so good.
I mean, Tyreek Hill against his old team. Hello.
I know.
Is he going to get 500 points?
I know.
I mean, Tyreek Hill is going to blow the doors off of those losers. I mean, this is the lock of the week. Dr. Hockey smearing Manny. It's just unfortunate that Manny has to play him when Tyreek Hill goes up against his old team.
But it is in Frankfurt.
And Mahomes, the current team for Tyreek Hill, Mahomes is going to put it to them to show Hill, we don't need you. I mean, Hill's going to put it to Kansas City and say, fuck you, you should have let me go. It's going to be a mess.
Yeah.
That's going to be a mess. The top two scores of that bracket will probably be 100 points for Dr. Hockey right off the bat.
Early in the morning before anybody else is even awake.
Before noontime, Hockey will have this all wrapped up. I mean, can you imagine that? Those two teams going after each other with those two specific players wanting to put it to the other guy, it's over.
Yeah. And then you still have AJ Brown going against Dallas, and
dealing against a very quote unquote leaky.
I'm going. I am going with Dr. I mean, he's got some good matchups this week.
Oh my god!
All right. That brings us to my game, the 1603ers versus the Detroit Whalers. No players have played so far, 106.28 to 106.85, with the Whalers being a 51 to 49% favorite in this game. He's going to be very Philly heavy with Hurts and Deontay. Is that his name? I don't even know his name. Devonta? Devonta. All right. Devonta Smith. What has he done? I think he's done a lot, right? Isn't he up and down depending on how much AJ Brown is whining for the ball?
Yes.
Let's hope he has a down game. All right. And Hurts, who's been, I think, great, right? Yeah, he's been pretty great. Okay. Going against Mac Jones versus Washington and McLaurin. So we'll both be watching that New England Washington game, as I hope that your quarterback throws to my guy, the one that you don't have many times. Then that'll
still help me.
What?
It still help me even if he throws it to your guy.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm ready. And then you got so then Drake London, his one little replacement right here. He had to go fishing for Dobbs, so we'll see going against the Rams. We've got Godwin going against Houston. Then he's got Mixon, who's actually been pretty good the last few weeks. Though he has a chest injury. Although is that gonna Yeah, he's going to be fine according to this. He's going to play. Mixon versus Buffalo on the Sunday night game. We've got Eckler on the Monday night game. Oh God, we're going to lose. My wins have come the last few weeks because I haven't had any Monday night games involved. Now we got a Monday night game back. God damn it, we're screwed. He's got White in Tampa Bay. Has he done anything? Oh yeah, he has. Okay, look at that. Going against Mostert in the early game. Mostert is calmed down slightly, and like you said earlier, just now, it's gonna be a very strong Tyreek Hill game in this game. Hawkinson with the new cashier as his quarterback. We'll see how he goes there. I mean, look, it could help it. I mean, who else does he have to throw to other than to dump it off to the tight end like a million times? Because first of all, what's his name? Justin Jefferson's gone. I mean, this team is in shambles. I mean, Justin Jefferson is gone. Their quarterback is gone. I mean, who else is there to throw? I mean, he's just going to dump it off this guy.
No running game whatsoever.
They have no running game. They're just going to dump it off to this guy all game. I'm actually going, not this week, but the next weekend, the one after this one, I'm going to a Vikings game. That should be Vikings versus.
Autograph.
I know, Vikings versus Saints. That'll be a terrible game. All right, and then you got Goder. So the earlier trade offer, going against Dallas, and you got Henderson, the running back. All right, he's done a couple things the last couple weeks, and then going against Michael Thomas versus Chicago. We got Hopkins and New Orleans going against Chicago, and he's got Tucker. Wasn't Tucker your kicker?
Yeah, I threw him in the garbage to go get Fairbairn.
Oh, and then he picked him up, and he still has not done anything really. He's actually
this is like the number one kicker in NFL history, and he has done nothing.
And then he's got the Giants defense at Las Vegas on Sunday. I mean, look, I always pick my opponents. I'm going to pick Whalers, but it looks to be a close game. I do agree with Whalers that the London injury hurts, but I mean, it could help him with Dobbs in there. I don't know. There's like a bunch of question marks.
Throwing to him.
What?
Green Bay is horrible.
What?
I would love throwing to him. Green Bay is horrible.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
But this is the best that he can find in a horrid dumpster. I mean, you find me somebody better than that trash bin that's out there.
I mean, he's
literally, look at this. He literally has no options.
Yeah. I mean, you can play Moss. I mean, yeah.
They should put PUP-L for Looney Bin for Kyler Murray. Look at that gigantic paragraph.
Physically unable to perform. The knee is what they're calling it. Murray knee is listed as question. So they're calling his head a knee.
Mm.
Okay. I mean, whatever.
I mean, even when he does come back, do you risk playing this lunatic?
Not the first week. I mean, who is he? I mean, but fine. He's got Hurts. He's done. So when is Hurts on the bye? He's by week 10. So he's got to hope that he's mentally stable enough to play in 3 weeks. And who does he? And who does he play? He plays Atlanta in week 10.
Week 10 is next week.
What?
Week 10 is next week, not 3 weeks.
2 weeks. So he's got to get his. All right. So he's got to take his meds by 2 weeks from now, and then hopefully he gets the blame. Anyway, I'm picking Whalers because I pick my opponent all the time. So there you go.
Okay.
I think
Whalers is on a hot streak. I'll pick him.
Yeah. All right. And then that leaves us to the last game. Our fan back in action.
Fan is back playing against the worst team in the league, who used to be him.
I know this is the second time he's playing, but this time he's not. I mean, look, he could be dragged down, and then we won't hear another peep from him for another whatever. But or we could start hearing some chatter from Dave's Secret Crush. Getting uppity. All right. So then GronkyCon picked up Levi's Jeans, who only got 8.68 points. The original projection, by the way, in this game was 105 to 113. It's currently GronkyCon is coming back down 107 to 105. All right. What do we got? Lamar going against Seattle. Oh, that's right. He's a very heavy Baltimore team. Listen at Atlanta, so he's gonna hope that the cashier does well for him.
Oh man.
Wilson against the Chargers. I think that's a good matchup. Ramondre. I mean, didn't he like become not atrocious? Whatever. All right. Oh, the Ford that the Ford that he bought for
109.
Yeah. So Ford ankle practiced in full. All right, so he's gonna play. And then he's got Andrews against Seattle. Okay, going against Njoku, so another big tight end matchup. On the other side, you've got Devontae Adams versus the Giants. Okay. Cooper Kupp, doesn't he not even have
Cooper Kupp has cooled off.
Yeah. Is Stafford not even playing?
It's questionable.
Okay. If he doesn't play, he clearly what is it? Did they say Mark Rippon? Leaving Brett Rippon as the potential starter. All right, so that tells you that.
I would go with the cashier from Minnesota over Rippon.
Yeah. Pacheco is cooled off. I mean, Singletary, Njoku, Lamb, who had 41 last week, but going against Philadelphia is actually pretty. They're the number. So he got 41 against the Rams, but the Philadelphia gives up the most, and so let's see if he can get 81. He's gonna need
81.
He's gonna need it in this game. I am going with Dave's secret crush in this game. I think that he's got
the fan wins it.
I think the fan wins
it.
I
need the fan to win it so that I can stay ahead of dead last in the basement.
Yeah, but you don't need the fan to do too well because there's a lot of players taking up a spot that you're going to need. You can,
I don't care. I Gronky Kong can go.
At some point, you might have to just win games yourself.
I mean, at some point, I think that would knock Gronky Kong out of the playoffs, 2-7.
No, because not officially, because you still have. I mean, well, none of it's official, but I'm just saying. Usually, 8 is our new number to. The elimination number since they increased the weeks. Yeah, I'm going with the fan. I mean,
I'm going with the fan as well.
That would technically be an upset. So does that mean is that your upset of the week?
Well, technically, yeah, okay. Yeah.
I mean, there's other. I mean, there were some other upsets of the week.
Dr. Hockey's definitely the lock of the week.
I don't even know if he is the lock of the week for me this week. He might be though. I mean, Zamunda is also a possible upset of the week for me, technically. Yeah, I'm gonna go with. I'll just go with. The Crush is the upset of the week, and I'm gonna go with. I'll join you in hockey being the lock of the week. All right, we got this done. Now you can play some more Call of Duty.
Excellent.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. See you next week.
All right. See you next week.
All right. Bye.
Bye.